Dave Palumbo here, and Olympia week is upon us, and just because of that, I'm going to offer you a very special deal at speciesnutrition.com. 30% off the entire website. That's right, 30% off the entire website. Just use coupon code Olympia30 for this special Olympia week from now through Saturday night at 11:59 p.m. That's right, 30% off speciesnutrition.com just because it's Olympia week. Guys, enjoy the broadcast and check out the specials at speciesnutrition.com. 30% off. Use Olympia30. Free shipping on orders over $100.
Old School Bodybuilding Clothing Company and Species Nutrition present RX Muscle's Olympia weekend coverage. For those that lose their mind if they haven't eaten any protein in 3.5 hours, OSBBC.com for the hardest training athletes.
Here with George "The Bull" Peterson, formerly of Classic Physique, making his 212 Olympia debut. And George, first of all, I just came up to you right now. You and I, both from Long Island, we live essentially 15 minutes away, but this is the first time I'm seeing you in person since you went 212. Right. You're like a different human being right now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the work that me and Justin have put in together to create a new version of George Peterson III is definitely paying off, and we're going to definitely show you something special tomorrow when we step on the 2020 212 Mr. Olympia stage.
Well, for the longest time, there was a debate as to whether or not you truly belonged in Classic Physique or you should have moved up. Now that you've moved into the 212, what have you learned about yourself, your physique, and in a sense, what did you not know coming into this process that you're learning as you go into 212?
Well, I mean, I've learned that, you know, definitely that my body wants to grow. You know, when I allow it to grow, it wants to grow. It's not, I'm not, you know, it doesn't fight against me when I want it to grow. And during this prep, the one thing that, you know, that we learned is that we can have that great balance of fullness and conditioning. Because when I prepped for Tampa, we went more for fullness because we wanted to make sure we didn't look too stringy, because we know we were going against better bodybuilders, bigger guys. So we wanted to come in there fuller, but I think that took away from that conditioning that I was known for in Classic. But in this prep, we found the balance where we're going to bring both that fullness and that conditioning, so we just bring that total package, you know?
When you look at this 212 lineup, maybe not in terms of competitors individually, but in terms of what you need to bring, in terms of your assets, in terms of what it is that you bring in your overall package, what do you think gives you the best advantage in 212 as opposed to, say, in Classic Physique?
Well, I believe that my aesthetics that I'm going to bring to the 212 is going to stick out like a sore thumb, I believe. And you know, and I truly believe that if you see something that looks different and is good at the same time, your eyes go to that and it stays to that. So I feel like, you know, me bringing the kind of look that I'm going to bring, which is, you know, top quality, professionalism, and like I said, aesthetics, pleasing to the eye, I believe that's going to, you know, stand out and lead me to the promised land in the 212 division.
George Peterson is going to win in his 212 Olympia debut because
George Peterson is going to be the best bodybuilder on the 212 stage, period.
Quick question. There is no more debate as far as what George Peterson needs to bring, what you had that debate in the Classic Physique. Mm-hmm. How does that feel now that you don't have that limitation, in a sense, in terms of your physique, in terms of what you wanted to do growing into a show?
I mean, it feels great, you know, because that was always the one thing that I always had to deal with, like the heckling when I was in Classic. Oh, you shouldn't be in Classic, you should be in 212. But, you know, oddly enough, it's like even when I made the switch to 212, then all this open talk started. Oh, you should go to open. Like, geez, like I just switched to 212. Give me a chance, you know. But no, it's just a better feeling. I feel like now I'm in a place where I truly can excel, because having to go down to that weight constantly over and over, it's hard to improve. It gets to a point where it's almost impossible to improve. So now I feel like I'm right at home, and I think I have a couple of years here in the 212. And if my body tells me it's time to grow and move on to the open, then so be it.
Take us out with a shot here.
Oh, with a shot? Okay, let's see.
GP3, George Peterson set to make his 212 Olympia debut. George, good luck, and as always, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Alongside the defending 212 Olympia champion, Kamal Elgargni. Kamal heading into the Olympia weekend as defending champion. How do you feel, and how do you approach this weekend coming in for your first title defense?
I feel so great. I'm ready to defend my title. I did what I have to do. Hopefully, like, I did the improvement. I did everything is possible that I can do to defend my title.
Kamal, I have to ask, because earlier in the year, you did make some overtures that you feel as if you did not get as much recognition and exposure as a 212 champion should. Why do you think that is? And now heading into this Olympia, do you feel as if you are getting more of that attention that you rightfully deserve?
Well, not really, because you know what's happening with the pandemic, what's happening. So we had a lot of plan sets up last year, but it's been taken from us because of the lockdown, and we couldn't go nowhere. We couldn't promote ourselves. We couldn't promote the sport, actually, for us as the Olympia champion. So I don't mind that because everywhere is locked down. So it's nothing, but we're hoping this year, after defending my title, and we could go around and probably we will, and then people, they will recognize more. And I know it has been difficult, but let's hope this year will be better.
Now, for the last 4 months, you've been in Boca Raton, Florida, training with the 212 legend Flex Lewis. How did that come about, and what's that experience been like training with a legend of your division?
Well, to be honest, as soon as I heard the NPC announce, they said to us, anybody that is competing at the Olympia, they could make it early is better, because to make sure they here to compete at the Olympia. So for me as a champ defending my title, I had a discussion with my wife, and I had already my visa already in my passport for 10 years, so there is no excuse. I told my wife, I think I should go. She said, yes, don't worry about it, go. I will take care of the kids, the family. So thank God I had a great wife. She's the one, she's really supporting me all the time. So she said to me, go. So I spoke to Flex, and Flex was always telling me, come to my gym, come train. So I'm good friend with Flex for a long time. And I spoke to him. He said, yeah, come on, just come straight away. So that's the thing is, we came, we stayed together, we trained. It's been like a great camp, away from the kids, away from the family, just for me, proper training camp.
What major improvements can we expect in your first title defense?
Harder and bigger. It's 100% bigger. I mean, last year I weighed 206. Today I weighed 211. So, and with hopefully better condition than last year. So this is the plan. There's a lot of improvement. So it is a hard work, yes. But I can see, everybody can see the improvement. Everybody saw me before, like, the show. They could see what's the improvement and what I'm bringing tomorrow.
If you're going to repeat, you're going to have to do so against a very tough class. Derek Lunsford, Sean Clarita, of course, George Peterson moving up into the 212. Kamal Elgargni will repeat as 212 Olympia champion because
I'm better. I did like what I said. I did what I have to do. I came with a better physique. Last year, I beat. There is a gap. There is a different with the muscle mature. Maybe I've been training longer than them and been like. But this year, I made sure to bring. The judges say, Kamal, bring in condition, but I brought the size and the condition this year.
Your defending 212 Olympia champion, Kamal Elgargni. Kamal, thanks for the time. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks, Sadiq, and thanks to RX Muscle.
With former two-time Miss Bikini Olympia, Angelica Teixeira. Angelica, you truly have been, for the last few years, one of the standard bearers for this bikini division. You lost the title a couple of years ago. You come back. What is your mindset heading into this weekend?
This week is just like getting this title back. That's my mindset. Since last year that I lost the title, my focus was the whole year to come battle, to improve, and that's what I done. I work on the judge's feedback, and I'm super excited to show my hard work on stage this Saturday.
Specifically, what have the judges told you in terms of the homework that you need to do to bring an even better Angelica Teixeira to the stage this weekend?
From last Olympia was to get a little tighter, and so I worked for the Arnold, and I achieved that for the Arnold. And now for this Olympics to bring kind of like the same package as the Arnold, because they love it. So I'm excited that, I think I got what they want. So
I have to ask you, because I had a conversation with your husband, Marco. and he talked about that fighting spirit in you, and he went on to attribute that it's the Brazilian fighting spirit in you, that when you got knocked down, he told you that you were not going to give up without a fight, that you were going to be back. You're going to be back again. Talk about that fighting spirit. You know, earlier today we heard from Phil Heath saying that losing the title in 2018 was the best thing to happen to him. You kind of echoed those sentiments. With that in mind, talk about that fighting spirit that you've used to prep in an attempt to get your title back.
Yes, you know, I think I have this coming from a small town in Brazil. Nothing was easy for me. My family didn't have like a lot of money. They had to fight for everything in life. They taught me that. Go after your things. Go after what you love. Go after what you want, and nothing will be given to you in life. So I think like losing my title at first, it was devastating. And then I was like, this is an opportunity for me to show people that you can get knocked down, that you can't fall as long as you get up on your feet and improve and fight to come back better. And I think it's going to be beautiful to after a loss last year, show people that, come on, you can get up. You can, you know, the great champ is not the one that always win, but the one that lose and know how to get up on your feet and fight and get on top again. So that's my goal. That's my goal this weekend.
If our viewers are sitting in front of a wall right now, I'm sure they're looking to run through it after what you just said. Angelica, great words of wisdom. Thank you for sharing that fighting spirit with us, and good luck this weekend. Thanks so much for the time.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Alongside IFBB figure pro Maryam Bamdad. Maryam, you have a really interesting story, and I told you that we're going to get you on with Dave Palumbo at some point after all this madness subsides. You are the first Iranian female to be on the Olympia stage. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but now that it's out there, what does that mean to you to represent Iranians worldwide on the Olympia stage?
Well, I'm blessed. I'm really happy. It's very tough in my country for women. Like, there's not a lot of, as a lot of people know, there's not a lot of freedom. You know, there's not really a lot of rights for women. I just want to show, and that gets women to not believe in themselves, because for the longest time they're like, no, you can't do this, you can't do that, you know, you're not supposed to do this, you know. But I think with me getting here, it just, a lot of girls, it's a lot of motivation for them. It make them believe in themselves, like all the messages that I got. And not only that, I got like more than half of my followers are actually guys that they're actually supporting, and it was very surprising to me to see from, you know, that kind of culture. They're so supportive and they're so motivating, and they're so like all the shout outs that they're doing, and they're actually like behind me for doing this. So yeah, it feels incredible.
And the other really cool thing about your story, and again, we promise we're going to get you on Dave with for a full interview, you underwent a severe transformation. I mean, we're going to see some of your pictures from your early ages into now. I mean, you really had to lose a lot of weight. Talk about that journey and then how that led you onto bodybuilding's premier stage.
So yeah, for pretty much most of my adult life, I was obese. I was more than 200 pounds. And I never ever touched a weight in my life, not a dumbbell, nothing. I never had an athletic background. And then I just wanted to, you know, have a healthy lifestyle, lose the weight, you know, just get on, you know, do it once. Actually, I was telling myself, I will do it once, lose the weight, and, you know, get on with it. But then as I continued, I was like, I can do this, you know, like after I lost the weight, I got in shape, then I went to a couple of shows, and it was very interesting, and like all the good things that happened in my life after I started bodybuilding, I really loved that lifestyle, so I just continued with it, and I guess good genetics helped too, so.
Well, Maryam, you are all that is right with this sport and with people looking to better their own situation, so good luck this weekend. Congratulate. Good luck this weekend. Thanks for the time. We're going to get you on with Dave Palumbo real soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. alongside Terence Ruffin, IFBB Classic Physique Pro. And Terence, let's take a step back. When we think about the Classic Physique division, you truly were one of the pioneers of the division. You were initially one of those that people looked at and was like, that's Classic Physique. You consider that, and now consider coming into this weekend, your mindset heading into the Olympia weekend.
You know, it's pretty crazy to think about. Yeah, I've been here since the start, and you know, I always say, as each and every year, the competition gets better and better and better, and I've had to improve along with it, because a lot of guys that first year, they aren't around anymore. So, you know, going into this year, I had to take it. You know, I took last year off. It's been 2 years since I've been to the Olympia, and I finally feel like I have the physique to match like my posing ability to put me in that the upper echelon of class physique competitors.
When you consider what you brought this past Arnold Classic, a very narrow top 2 decision, when you did your homework, when the judges gave you their feedback, what was it specifically that you worked on for this Olympia weekend?
I mean, we worked a little bit more on upper body, bringing up the little bit more weaknesses that we've had, hamstrings, just upper body in general. I don't think I have any glaring weaknesses anymore, just some things that can be a little bit better all around. And I'm very, very happy to say that. So I'm a lot heavier this show, so that's good. And I found out today they measured me again, and I'm like still like 10 pounds on the weight limit. So like, okay, somehow I got taller, but so I mean, I got plenty of room to be here. I'll be here a while, you know. So yeah.
I have to ask you, because when the topic of Classic Physique comes up, right, there is still the debate. Exactly what is Classic Physique? It seems as if in that elite class of Classic Physique, you all bring something different. You all bring something very, very unique. So according to you, according to Terence Ruffin, what is your definition of Classic Physique?
I don't think people like my answer. I mean, it's not like a... The funny thing about bodybuilding is it's all subjective. So like, it's not one thing. It's a total package. Obviously, we've seen that from show to show, and that's why people get upset. Well, they say like, well, this guy won this show and this guy won another show, and they, you know, and they say all the judging isn't consistent. But I think more so than saying like, oh, this person, you know, how do you say backswing bodybuilding shows a lot? That's not how it is in Classic. It's the overall package. So like, say for instance, I believe Breon has a more complete physique. He says it all the time. But then you got guys like Chris, whose his structure just kind of blows Breon out of the water, you know. And then other times, you know, it goes back and forth depending on like, this person missing this or that person missing this. It's more so an art. Yeah, you just look at the total package, you see what you like, and the best one wins that day. It's not a great answer, but it's art. And you know, like you look at a painting, and then like, oh, I like that painting, I like this painting, you know.
I was just going to say that was a very artistic response coming from really one of the pioneers of Classic Physique. Terence, thank you so much for your time. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Alongside Hunter Labrada entering his debut Olympia campaign. Now, Hunter, some bold predictions by some of bodybuilding's top analysts, including 4-time Mr. Olympia Jay Cutler. When asked about your prospects, he said he wouldn't be surprised if you got into the top 6. When you hear that, what enters your thinking, especially as you enter this weekend?
Man, you know, I've been saying the same thing about a lot of the predictions that I've been hearing, and it's very flattering, and it's very, you know, it's very cool to. I use it as a gauge of, you know, okay, well, you know, people who really have a great eye for bodybuilding see I have a lot of potential. But you know, at the end of the day, potential is just a hole until you fill it. So, you know, tomorrow I feel like I got the first chance to at least throw a little dirt in that hole. So I'm looking forward to getting out there and you know, showing what we've been able to improve since Tampa, and you know, showing that's the stage I belong on. So.
Speaking of Tampa, since Tampa, the feedback you've gotten, the homework you've done, what specific improvements have you had to make going into this Olympia weekend?
Oh man, it's the same improvements I've been trying to make since I went pro, and that's, you know, the backside, you know, adding tissue to my back, lower lats especially. I've been training back like a madman, you know, ever since I went pro. I knew it's what I needed to improve, and I'm not going to call it a strong part yet, but it's definitely not a weak part anymore. I'm looking forward to showing the improvement in the back especially.
One thing that I think bodybuilding fans have been very appreciative is that you're very transparent. On your social media. You post exactly what your progress is. You're not hiding anything. What's behind that thinking when so many bodybuilders like to be a little secretive leading into a big show?
I think it comes down to the fact that I don't really feel like I have anything to hide, and I'm pretty comfortable with what I'm bringing. In my experience, it's a couple reasons. Some people do like to play their cards close to the chest. Other guys, aren't like the most confident in the world, and they don't want to put their shit out because they don't want to deal with, the internet, basically. But, at the end of the day, I'm a professional bodybuilder. I make my living off of this, and, the current climate is not, six-figure magazine contracts and appearances and stuff. The way you make your living these days is by having a strong social media presence and, being able to market yourself. And if you're a bodybuilder, you market yourself by showing your body. So, that's where my mindset is on it. And, I guess, like I said, it comes down to the fact that I don't really feel I have anything to hide. And, I know, since I started doing it, the amount of feedback that I've gotten, exactly like what you've said, people love the fact that I post all my mandatories and give an update on the diet and tell them how I'm feeling. It's, that on top of my YouTube content, I feel like people really feel like they're able to follow along. And I think that's what people want to be able to do. So if you look in our industry, anyone that really has done that, they're very successful. Just off the top of my head, like Regan's right next to me.
Right.
Look how successful he is. He shows everything. So I feel like that might be kind of like a new age thing, because you have a lot of the older guys that did come up during the magazine era, where you made your living off of being in the magazines. So that might be where some people come from. But that's my 2 cents on it.
This being your rookie campaign, what defines success to you this Olympia weekend?
What defines success to me this weekend is coming and waking up and heading over to prejudging and heading over to finals, knowing that I could not have looked any better if I wanted to. I'm not one to say like, you want to be the best version of myself and I don't care where I place. That's bullshit. Everyone cares where they place. Obviously, I want to place as high as possible. At the end of the day, there's people that have been, competing on the Olympia stage longer than I've been bodybuilding that are in this show, So I do have to temper my expectations. But no, for the last 16 weeks, it's been full gas, it's business as usual. So looking forward to mixing it up with people. And, like I said, a successful outing to me is showing clear improvement since my last show, which, to be blunt, I was better 2 weeks ago than I was at Tampa. So that's a box that I've checked already. The next box that I want to check is, just really hitting my peak and showing up at my best the day of the show.
I have to ask, and I'm sure you're sick of the comparisons, but what does it mean to you to carry the Labrada legacy onto the Olympia stage?
I always get asked this, and at every single show I've always given the same answer, but this show is different. Normally I say, it doesn't really cross my mind. I'm kind of doing my own thing, but at the end of the day, this is the Super Bowl of bodybuilding, and I am going to make a small bit of history just by stepping on stage tomorrow. To my knowledge, there's never been a father and son, duo that's been around at the same time to have done that. Sergio and his dad obviously were first and second generation Olympians, but not why Senior was still here. So it's very unique, and it's an honor to be carrying on that name. Obviously, he was wildly successful on the stage, and I'm looking forward to making a splash my first time.
Carving out your own legacy. Well, you have a very humble and mature mindset, a breath of fresh air here in the bodybuilding world. Hunter, thanks for the time. Congratulations. Good luck this weekend.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming by.
Good luck. Alongside Regan Grimes, his second time at the Olympia, first time in the open class. Regan, it's been quite the journey for you. You came here as a classic physique competitor, and eventually you went back to the open class. Do you feel as if you found a home in the open going into this weekend here at the Olympia?
I do. Yeah, classic for me was, it was something that I wanted to experience, something that I really love the category. But for me, I feel like home in the open. Yeah.
What is it about your physique? What is it about you've learned about yourself, about your ability to grow, switching back into the open and now having a couple of years to grow?
Yeah, so, I did the Olympia Classic in 2018. And then, I've had a little bit of time in between there to grow. Last year, I did the Japan and the Romania in the Opens, and it gave me enough points to, almost make it into the Olympia this year, but I had to do the Spain European this year to lock it in, and I was able to do so, and very thankful that I went out and did that show and made sure I got my spot. And then now for next year, I'm able to do the Olympia 2021 from winning to Romania. So I'm really excited for that, and can't wait, man.
Talk to us a little bit more about the fact that you have been competing quite a lot over the course of the calendar year. That's not very typical in today's bodybuilding.
Right.
Talk to us about that experience and what you've learned from it.
Yeah, it was a really good experience. I mean, being out and doing pretty much, I'd call it like a European circuit almost.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, the Spain Pro. Then I stayed in Spain, just decided to stay there due to like all of the COVID stuff that's happening. If I was to head back home, I'd have to quarantine 2 weeks. So I was like, you know what? The UK show is in like 3 weeks. I'll just stay here, hit the UK show, came back and went out to Romania and did that one as well. And it just was, I love bodybuilding. I love competing, and it's what wakes me up in the morning. So literally doing show after show, I was able to learn my body, working with my coach, learning how to peak properly. One thing for us is, and I keep getting feedback from the judges, is that I come out strong and then I fade. So it's one thing we've been trying to fix, for the competitions is that, and we were able to do so in Romania. So I'm excited for the Olympia this year to be able to bring that again.
Specifically, what can fans expect in terms of a package, in terms of a presentation that you plan on bringing here in your Olympia debut?
Definitely sharper, better, improved than Romania. I think, it was a short time that I was given. I worked really hard in between to make sure that I was able to make some improvements and, bring in a little sharper conditioning. And I want to come in a little bit drier, and hopefully it'll be my best, so, yeah.
What would be a successful Olympia debut for you, in your opinion?
For me, I don't want to put any, I don't have any expectations for the first one. I really just want to take in this experience. I want to have a good time up there. I don't want to put that pressure on myself. And I want to just get up there against these guys and see how I look. And, wherever it lands for me this year, that's where it's going to land. And I can go back to the drawing board, and I have the whole year to come back and be much improved in those areas that I'm going to need. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, you had a plan, and you've executed upon it. Regan, thank you so much for the time. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you so much.
Alongside the man, the myth, the legend, making his way back to the Olympia stage after 2 years, Big Rami. Big Rami, it has been quite the journey for you to find yourself back on the stage. We saw you earlier this year at the Arnold Classic, and you specifically said how much you missed competing on the stage. You missed the brotherhood. You missed the fans.
Yeah.
Your mindset coming into Olympia weekend.
Okay, first, nice to meet you again, Sid, and I'm really happy to see you. And let's talk about the Olympia. Olympia I missed last year, and I remember the time when I stand in front of the stage and I see my brother competing. Yeah, it's happy to see them making what he like, but also I need to be there with him. I stand like 2 days, I thinking about that. I never missed Olympia. And yeah, I have a long year. I have making many things happen. I don't like it, but I appreciate for everyone to bring me here again, because it's a good opportunity to stand in Mr. Olympia again. It's the biggest show in the world. I'm really happy to be here.
When you consider that you had to get a special invitation to compete here, and despite everything that you tried to do to qualify for this Olympia the right way, what did it mean to you, first off, to get that invitation from Dan Solomon, from Jake Wood, but then to get that universal applause from the bodybuilding fan, that the fan base, that they wanted to see you back up on that stage, they wanted to see you back up on that Olympia stage. What did that mean to you?
It's been a lot for me if he gave me the invitation. That's me. I am one of the guy. He's important for the game, and that's make me feel I need to working more harder to lead everyone. Yes, I have to be here on the stage. I have to be stand with the big guys. I have to bring for my fans the best the best Ramy ever. I hope if I can do if I do that tomorrow.
You've been working with Dennis James. You've been working with Chad Nichols.
Yes, sir.
You got the Diesel stamp of approval.
My brother.
You've been working with Dennis James over the last few weeks. It's been very entertaining to see you guys train, to see him put you through the work.
Yeah.
Specifically, how beneficial has that been to you in your last couple of weeks heading into Olympia weekend?
Dennis is always with me in my phone in the whole years. I talk to him every day. He's my brother. I start with him. First time I come to America, he helped me to get everything is easy for me. And when I just send him my picture every day, he said, Ramy, come to here. We stand together until the show, and I can let you, everything is easy, and make sure everything going with you well. And he do that very well. Dennis James is my best brother ever. I meet him. He's a good man. I like him. And also I working with Chad. Chad is a smart coach, and what he make me excited to working with him again and again and again. And I working with him if he still has that passion to me, because he's a everyday contact to me. He's have a passion. He's a believe in me, and he think I can be Mr. Olympia, and that's make me, I'm excited to working with him.
Specifically, when your name is called tomorrow night in prejudging, what specifically package, presentation can fans expect to see out of you in prejudging?
Tomorrow, I can't say anything. All I need to my fans. Proud for Ramy and all my country and my fans in Middle East and around the world. He said, Ramy, he do everything to come here, and thank you for who do that. And that's all.
Can Big Ramy win the Olympia in 2020?
I think all the guys he come to win, and I think I'm the one. He have that passion. Not this year. It's 7 years, 8 years right now. I come here to win, but I working hard for that. I can't promise. I can't say anything because all the guys, he's bring him best, but we'll see tomorrow who is come the best ever, like his best package for the stage.
Finally, is this the best Big Ramy we will ever see on the Olympia stage to date?
I hope if I can do that tomorrow. Yeah, I can't promise anything, but I try to bring a good Ramy, and I working hard for that, and let the judge see what he said tomorrow.
Well, Big Ramy, I can say on behalf of bodybuilding fans, on behalf of bodybuilding media, it is an absolute pleasure to see you back on that Olympia stage. I think I speak for everyone, it's going to be fun, it's going to be entertaining, and you have done such a good job of keeping this sport fun with your personality, your humbleness, and I think that's something that's gone a long way with the bodybuilding fans. So it's going to be great to see you back up on the stage tomorrow night.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you for RX Muscle to support every competitor, to support the sport, and thank you again, Sid, because you are a good man. I love you.
Big Ramy here at the 2020 Olympia. Ramy, thank you so much for the time. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you so much, brother.
Alongside Antoine Vaillant making his Olympia debut, and we're going to ask some hard-hitting questions. Antoine, are you or are you not a model?
I am a model, part-time model. If you see my story, it's an inside joke. And if you didn't, you're like, what the hell? But I don't care.
Well, of course, the Instagram model making his Olympia debut.
No,
What filter are we going with this weekend?
No, it's Instagram bodybuilder, remember?
Oh, sorry, Instagram bodybuilder. So we had to be very specific about this.
Yeah.
Which filter are we going with in prejudging tomorrow night?
I use 5% structure, 10% sharpness, and 24% Valencia.
Are we going with a vignette?
A little bit, like maybe 12 to 20%.
All right, that's what we want to hear. That's exactly. All right, thank you very much. Antoine, of course, making his Olympia debut. Antoine, for a couple of years now, it's been well documented the journey that you have had, some of the ups and downs that you've had in your personal life. What kind of validation does this bring to you to be here Olympia weekend and then tomorrow night to hear your name called onto the Olympia stage?
Yeah, it's cool because you know what? Sometimes I forget that's the Olympia. It's a show because I'm so consumed by the prep and the diet and just give my 100% because whatever show it is, you always try to give your 100%, but it's like every prep I level up. I work even harder, and for this one, I've never worked so hard in my life for something except maybe stop using drugs. You know, that was the only thing that was probably harder. But this prep, as far as the physical and mental and just effort and discipline, like this is the most I've ever worked in my life. And what made it like hard, it's like bodybuilding was a game. I've just turned on hard mode is by adding flex wheelers posing sessions at 9 p.m. almost every day for the past 3 weeks. Busting my ass. And I added training with Big Mike Van Wyck, my friend, and I talked with him about him with Dave on Onyx Muscle, and it made a huge difference for my physique. And of course, Dorian Hamilton, my coach, is right there. He's always doing the best job that I think a coach could do. And he's also one of my best friends, so you know it's perfect. So I got the trifecta of success here. Flex Wheeler for the posing, Big Mike Van Wyck for the training, and the contest prep coach and dieting, Dorian Hamilton. Doesn't get better than that. And then the rest I just have to bust my ass, and I've been doing it.
Well, let's talk about what you plan on bringing to the Olympia stage this weekend. Now, you were night and day in your win at the CalPro, correct?
Yes.
You were night and day, and we obviously Dave and Chris are having some fun on Heavy Muscle Radio, retracting some of the Instagram. But when you look at what you brought to the stage, that Olympia ticket qualifying victory, what do you take from that? And in terms of the overall formula you plan on bringing this weekend?
Well, we know that was way too flat at New York Pro, and then we learned that I could eat a lot more food than we thought to carb up. So this time around, we didn't deplete as much, for one, so now carbing up has been easier. So, and I gained some new muscles, and my condition is probably better, I would say. So I'm gonna be bigger, more shredded. I'm gonna pose better, and I'll just be a better bodybuilder. Because what bodybuilding is all about, what life is all about, is improving. Every time you do a challenge, you do a prep, or whatever it is you do, you want to improve, right? I'm not about self-growth, self-improvement. And with this prep, I've actually learned a lot of things about myself. It's been super hard mentally, more than before. But you know what? Dude, when this is all going to be over, whatever happens at the place things, it's like, of course I want to beat some of the top guys. Of course I want to get the first call out and be like, what the fuck happened, you know, and I'd be triumphant. But the thing is, there was no stones left unturned. I gave my 100%. I can do more. So whatever it is, at the end, I'm going to be happy with myself. I'm going to be proud of myself because this was nuts. This prep was crazy for me. It was so hard for me, but I just pushed and pushed and pushed. And tomorrow on stage, I'm going to pose like my life depends on it. That's it.
So there you hear it. Antoine Vaillant, Olympia debut. Many analysts, including Dave, has said that this could be a wild card for a top 6 spot. Antoine, thank you so much for the time. You've really proved to be an inspiration to so many who are going through their own personal struggles. It's going to be great to see you up on that Olympia stage this weekend.
Thank you.
All right. Alongside the one, the only Helle Trevino. Helle and Miss Olympia Bodybuilding returning to the Olympia stage for the first time since 2014. Now, Helle, you were on that stage in 2014. We're talking about 6 years later. What does it mean to you to return to the Olympia stage?
You know, honestly, it's like coming home. I've been on the Olympia stage 3 times before, and it's always an honor. It's the biggest stage in the world, biggest competition in the world. And, you know, when they announced that 2014 was the last Olympia and that was not going to be another one for women's bodybuilding, it was devastating. I mean, it was heartbreaking. And it's like you just had your dreams crushed, you know, they were just crushed like that. And I mean, no one really knew what was going to happen, and was there going to be shows, and girls try to downsize left and right to Physique because they wanted to be in the Olympia, you know. And people were asking me, well, are you going to downsize? And I was like, hell no. Like, I'm a bodybuilder by heart. I love my muscles. I don't want to get rid of them. I'm a bodybuilder, and I love my look. You know, big, buff, and beautiful. That's what I like. You know, I mean, everybody has their ideal of beauty, or their sense of beauty, what they find is beautiful. And I see a body that's built like an artwork. So, you know, like when you see like a pose like this, it's like a sculpture to me. It's like a sculpture that I'm building in human flesh. And you know, luckily, the next year, you know, Jake Wood and Wings of Strength, they started the Rising Phoenix, which was then the biggest bodybuilding competition in the world that sort of like came instead of the Olympia. And, well, what happened was it this year or maybe end of last year?
End of last year, yeah.
Jake Wood bought the Olympia.
Yep.
So now we also in the Olympia. So now we got the Rising Phoenix and the Olympia.
Right.
And along with all the qualifiers, and actually the sport is growing and growing and growing because now it's being promoted. It's like any product you have, if you have a pen and you want to sell it, but no one knows you have the pen, like how are you ever going to sell it? Like, you have to promote bodybuilding, and Jake is promoting female bodybuilding, and that's the only way you can sell the product. It's like make you know, the young girls interested in like being healthy, having muscle, and that you can have muscle and be feminine and strong. It has nothing to do with masculinity, you know, like it doesn't, I don't know, it's kind of antiquated, this gender thing. I think it's such like gender discrimination that only men can have muscles. It's like it belongs to the man. I'm like, why? Like men and women are born with the same muscles. Like, yeah, our gender is different, but our muscles are the same. Why should we not be allowed to go to the gym and build our muscles if we want to, if it pleases us? Everybody should have the freedom to look however they want. And that's another thing where I'm happy to be a front runner for the sport and being on the biggest stage, to be able to motivate and inspire, you know, the upcoming generation of bodybuilders and show them that you can be a woman and you can have muscles and you can be strong. And I am 100% woman. This is just my type of beauty, you know, my sense of beauty.
Let's talk about from the competition aspect. It was really cool. Earlier today, you got to partake in the Olympia press conference, and it's funny because it was you and Margie Marvelous, and neither one of you held back. You said what was on your mind, and we had you on Iron Debate a couple of weeks ago, and yes, when Dave asked you if you could beat Iris Kyle, if you could win this competition, it brought out this fire in you, and I'm sitting on my laptop. I had to back up a little bit because I'm like, what can we expect to see out of you this weekend in the return to the Olympia?
I've been working really hard. I started my prep already mid-April. So I've been working many, many months for this. I mean, even before prep, there's also work. So even when I came off the Rising Phoenix last year, I started my off-season training really hard and heavy with another professional bodybuilder, Luca Panasati. He's like 300 pounds. He made me lift the heaviest weights in my life, and I added some more pounds to my frame. I'm going to be a good 6 pounds heavier than last year. So I'm going to probably hit the stage around 180. And yeah, it's just, it's going to be exciting, you know? I mean, it's going to be up to the judges, like how the placings are going to be made. But I'm going to bring the best version of myself. I'm going to bring my best package, and I believe that I have what it takes to win the Miss Olympia. So we'll see if the judges are of the same opinion, but I know that I have worked very, very hard for it, and I'm going to bring, I'd say, the best physique that I've ever brought to the stage.
There you hear from truly one of the standard bearers for women's bodybuilding, Helle Trevino. Helle, thank you so much for the perspective, a perspective that we value so much as we welcome back Miss Olympia to the Olympia stage. And again, thank you so much for your time. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you, I appreciate it. And thank you for all the fans out there who's supporting us. We love you guys. Thanks for the support.
Look at that. Look at that.